It's been a crazy year, right? 2019 for gaming has just been astronomically phenomenal. There's just so much to come out, and the thing is, like, this video initially started off being a top 5 list, and then I was like, shit, I can't do that. There's just too much great stuff that's come out. And then I went from a top 5 list to a top 10 list, and then from a top 10 list to a top 15, and then I finally settled at a top 20 because I feel like if I went beyond that, like a top 25, then I'm just gonna throw everything in that I played this year because I thought it was all fucking phenomenal. But yeah, this is the top 20 list for 2019 of the best games that have come out this year. And it's crazy. I'm doing this is going up on the 31st of December 2019, so this is effectively a year in review for gaming. But hey, it's awesome. It is what it is. Anyways, guys, I'm Mekel Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber, host of the #1 podcast in the state of Hawaii, the Kasanova Podcast. And with this being said, before we go ahead and get into this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, ding the notification bell, and yeah, let's go ahead and get on into the top 20 games of 2019. Roll the intro. Coming in at number 20 is Daemon X Machina. This is a game that I really enjoy because I love mech style games, and I know that there's a controversy around it because if you were trying to stream it or do a review for it, then you know you were getting copyright claimed, and that was a pain in the ass. But that's not going to deter my love for the game, and I know for a lot of content creators that did make them knock the score really low because they hated that. But then also there's the fact that a lot of Western gamers, a lot of content creators aren't exactly fans of the mech genre, but I am. I absolutely love this game, from the customization to the controls, the visual aesthetics of it, the dialogue between characters, the story. Daemon X Machina is honestly one of the best mech games that I have ever played. And it's just, it really gives me that rush, you know, like if I'm playing, you know, as someone who grew up watching Robotech or Macross and grew up watching Gundam, this is exactly what I imagined when I thought of, hey, I would love a mech game that gives me that type of experience. And Daemon X Machina does exactly that, and it just fires on all cylinders. And there was a specialized controller, the Split Pad Pro from Wolery, for the Nintendo Switch, and it just made the game that much better. Like, it's super comfortable. That was my portable go-to until I got the Switch Lite. But yes, Daemon X Machina at number 20. At number 19, we've got Controlled. The thing is with this, if you're a Alan Wake fan, or if you're a fan of Quantum Break, then this is a game you're definitely gonna enjoy, because not only is it, you know, it's a third-person shooter, but it's also one of those games that gives you that feeling of there's so much more mystery, because it does this. It starts medias res, which is a term meaning that it starts mid-plot, and then a lot of the game backtracks to other things and explains the story as you play. It's a very effective storytelling technique that was done in games like Chronicles and many others, and I just absolutely loved it. You know, the main character, there's a lot of intrigue with her, the FBC, weapon that she wields. It's an amazing game. I think you guys would absolutely love it. Coming in at number 18 is Tiny Metal Full Metal Rumble. This game is something I absolutely love because I grew up as a fan of the Advance Wars series, and then we had a couple years ago Tiny Metal come out, and that game was fucking awesome. And then here we are with Tiny Metal Full Metal Rumble, which is the sequel to it, and that game is super awesome. You know, as a tactical game, it just fires on all cylinders. Does it do new things? I mean, coming from the first Tiny Metal to this, it does a lot differently. It's visually a lot more pleasing. It's got the English voice acting. It's just it's more fun. And if you like tactical strategy RPGs, this is a game you need to play. Coming in at number 17 is Samurai Shodown. This is a return to form, and it's kind of funny because of all the games in the SNK library, I think a lot of people were shocked to see, you know, a new Samurai Shodown. I think some people were more so expecting like Fatal Fury or Art of Fighting, but Samurai Shodown came back, and while many think it's a reboot, it's actually set after the first entry, and it's really, graphically the game reminds me of like a combination of Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5, and the gameplay is super good. And it's now coming on, I think in Japan it's on the Switch now. We don't have it in the West on the Switch, but it's a really good game that with mechanics that, you know, it's a slower pace. So if you're trying to play this like you would Street Fighter or King of Fighters or something like that, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening, because this is all about timing and knowing if your techniques are going to connect. It's a slower paced methodical fighter. It is simply one of the best games to come out this year. So coming in at number 16 is Blazing Chrome. This is a game that I absolutely love because as a fan of Contra and the older school style, I absolutely loved it. If you ever played Contra 3, Alien Wars, or if you played Hardcore or Contra Hardcore, this is everything you wanted it to be. This is such a love letter to the Contra formula and also to the Metal Slug formula too, because if you love Metal Slug, you'll find a lot to love in Blazing Chrome. The game is just, it's got a really cool, unique look, story, characters, gameplay, and from start to finish, you're hooked. You know, and there's just a lot of replayability. And like most of the games, most of the indie games that are coming on this list, the one complaint I have with it is like I have with others, is no online multiplayer co-op. But other than that, this game is absolutely phenomenal. You need to play it. Coming in at number 15 is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. I absolutely love dungeon crawlers, and I love the original Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, just like I love the X-Men Legends series. And you know, we could go down this road. I could throw in the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance games, I could throw in the Neverwinter Nights games. I love this style of gameplay, and sure, like the story had that Marvel Cinematic Universe feel to it, you know, throwing everyone together. But other than that, I mean, the gameplay was just absolutely fun. The amount of characters you could play as, the fact that each character plays so fundamentally different to one another. And it's one of those games that I feel like, while it's amazing, I think a lot of people, it went under the radar because right around the time it came out was also the time that Fire Emblem Three Houses was coming out. And I think in a way, it did kind of hurt Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and if you passed on that game, I highly implore you pick it up because it is simply one of the most fun dungeon crawler beat 'em up games of the year. You should play it. Coming in at number 14 is going to be both Luminous Avenger X, Gunvolt Chronicles, and Dragon Marked for Death, because these are two titles from Inti Creates that you guys need to be playing. From a visual aesthetic style of what they crafted in the Mega Man Zero and the ZX series, and with the fact that the gameplay is so core tightly Mega Man, especially if you are a fan of the Mega Man X series, you would love Luminous Avenger X. That game, I think a lot of people, it went under the radar, but that game is so fucking good. If you love the X series, then you'll like Luminous Avenger X. And if you love, you know, if you like the style of gameplay that was in Mega Man ZX and you want a Metroidvania feel to it with the capability of online co-op with other people and have various classes to play as, you need to be playing Dragon Marked for Death. That game was awesome. You need to play it. Coming in at number 13 is none other than Indivisible. This is a game that's been in the works since 2013. And gameplay, graphics, story, voice acting, this game is just all around. And if you're a fan of the Valkyrie Profile style of gameplay, this is a game that you need to be playing. Like, I absolutely love every fucking aspect of this game. And it's got your Metroidvania like feel to it with that interactive gameplay. Like, the only other game I can think of in recent time that came out that has a similar gameplay, well shit, I can't actually think of another game that came out that's similar to this. It's that good. You know, you would think NIS America would come up with a game, which I think they've come out with like 2, like Grand Kingdom or something like that. But other than that, Indivisible is such a good game. Avidan is such a lovable, stupid character that is absolutely fun. You should play this game. Trails of Cold Steel 3. That game, oh my god, start to finish, the game was absolutely phenomenal. As you guys know, I reviewed this on the channel and it was absolutely fantastic. It's also a game that I feel like you do need to play the series, because going straight into 3, and I know marketing has said you could just jump into 3, you don't need to play 1 and 2, and you also don't need to play the previous Legend of Heroes series. I don't agree with that, because there's so much you're going to miss. And yes, you can do a recap and read everything that's in it. I just feel like if you do that, you're gonna miss out on everything that is in that title. Come on now. So if anything, guys, please play this game. If you have it, you can still play it without playing the others. It is a phenomenal JRPG, marvelously voice acted. The gameplay is superly just amazing. And graphically, I think it's a major step up from Trails of Cold Steel 2 and 1. So yes, you need to play this game. Coming in at number 11 is none other than Mortal Kombat 11. This game, there is no, look, here's the thing when it comes to WB Games and NetherRealm Studios, they craft the absolute best stories in fighting games, in the sense of the best displayed narrative for a story in a fighting game. Like, I'm sorry, Tekken tried it, it was shit. Street Fighter tried it, it was trash. Let's be honest, NRS is who started this trend that other companies that make fighting games are trying to emulate when it comes to stories in their fighting games. Mortal Kombat 11, the gameplay, the graphics, the story, it's just superb. I just, when I played it, I couldn't put it down. I played it start to finish. The game was just that phenomenal. And I know the whole thing with some of the female models, they're not, I don't understand this whole thing now where we gotta make female characters in games unattractive. But aside from that controversy, the game is absolutely phenomenal. You need to play it. Coming in at number 10 is going to be 2 games, again, that are going to share this position. And it's going to be Fight and Rage and River City Girls. We're going to start off with River City Girls. Now, this is a wonderful return to form of the River City franchise. I know a lot of people were not happy with the fact that it doesn't really star Kunio and Ricky, and the fact that it stars their girlfriends, Masako and Kyoko. But the thing is, the game is, it's still the same game. It still is, and you can also unlock, you know, Ricky and Kunio later in the game, but the game is absolutely phenomenal. Start to finish, gameplay is just, it's awesome. I absolutely love it. The story was, the story is good, but once you beat it, there's such a twist at the end that it just absolutely made me laugh my ass off. It is absolutely fantastic. I think you guys would love it. It's a great pick up and play. Whether you're a veteran of the beat 'em up genre or you're new to the genre, it is absolutely a game I think you guys absolutely love. And also, if you enjoy that, but you want a game that's even better, Fight and Rage. I don't know why people are not playing this. Okay, this game came out a couple years ago on PC. I played it then. This game has now released on consoles. It's on all major platforms, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and on Steam. There's no excuse for you not buying it. And I think for a lot of people, you got the people that are the snubs that want just physical only and they don't care about digital. Get the fuck over that. Just, if a game is good and it comes out, you need to play it. Fight and Rage is so good. The combo system, it's got a super deep plot that on the surface seems shallow. It's not. You got over 30 endings. You've got unlockable characters, unlockable moves, unlockable costumes, unlockable computer control AI, companions, unlockable training, unlockable versus mode. There is so much. If you're someone who played games in the 90s and you remember what it was like when you kept beating the game, you kept unlocking more and more shit, this is what you need to play. If you're a fan of the Streets of Rage engine, and if you're a fan of the Final Fight engine, and also Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, if you're a fan of those games, and I mean, hell, let's throw more in there. Let's throw in Alien vs. Predator. Let's throw in also Captain Commando. If you love those systems, all that combined is Fight and Rage, and you need to play it. There's no reason. If you're watching this video, stop this video right now and go and download it either off the eShop, the PlayStation Network, or Xbox Live, because there's absolutely no reason why you're not playing it. Coming in at number 9 is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and this game, you know, I know a lot of people don't care for Kickstarter games, especially after you had Mighty Number 9, which I know a lot of people absolutely hate that game. I'm not one of them. I didn't Kickstarter back it, but I did enjoy it for what it was. That's just me. I know a lot of games I like, people tend to hate. It is what it is, you know? But Bloodstained Ritual of the Night lived up to what its promise was, bringing back Igavania-style Castlevania games. And it did that. It did it absolutely fine. It's basically what happens if you take the most prolific entry into the Castlevania franchise, being Symphony of the Night, and you combine it with the last Igavania game that came out, being Order of Ecclesia, and you mix them together, and you basically recycle Shinoa, and you come out with this new character that's basically Shinoa, and there you go. That it is, you know, Miriam is basically Shinoa, but it's that. I mean, it doesn't do anything new, but it doesn't have to. And I know a lot of people complained about the game. It was absolutely fantastic. It is quintessentially the return to form of Igavania, without the Castlevania name, and admittedly without the Castlevania lore, which kind of hurts it because the story is good. I think a lot of people absolutely went into this wanting it to be like, oh, there's got to be ties to it being Castlevania. No, it's not. But a lot of people read off the story as generic or boring. And I think a lot of people, because we're in a day and age where people like to consume things by just being told to them and not reading. If you read the entries in the game, it's a very, very dark story. And the plot is very dark. But it's really good, you know, especially that twist at the end, which it alludes to it over the course of time. But yeah, it's really, really a great game, and I think you guys would absolutely love it, from story, graphics, gameplay, voice acting, and more. It is simply phenomenal. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a game you need to play, and I highly recommend it. Coming in at number 8 is Fire Emblem Three Houses. I had to do that. Fire Emblem Three Houses is absolutely the return to form of the Fire Emblem franchise. And not only is it a return to form, it is also a fucking good entry in the series. I absolutely loved it. You know, from the story, the gameplay, the branching paths of which house you choose, how they branch and come back together at the end, the time skip, the mechanics, the dating simulation, which seems to be a thing since, you know, Awakening. And it's the complete Fire Emblem experience. And I absolutely just loved it. I think you guys would love this game. It's hard to put down. Which house did you pick? Which house did you run through? Let's get to, you know what? If you want, we can stop the video here and you can get the conversation going down below in the comment section. But Fire Emblem Three Houses is a must play. Now, this may be a bit of a shocker, but coming in at number 7 is none other than Astral Chain. This game, story, gameplay, graphics, I got no words. This game is fucking awesome. Platinum Games knocked it out of the park. The detective mechanic, because you're a cop and you gotta do things where you've gotta like survey scenes and collect evidence, and then you're gonna be questioned as to what you think happened, and then the combat mechanics that keep growing and growing and growing. and you've got to actively think on your feet as you just think Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, and Chaos Legion, and there you go. Yes, I said Chaos Legion. How many of you people have actually played that PlayStation 2 classic? I hope you didn't skip out on that. But it's all that wrapped into one with the detective simulator style of game. I absolutely loved it, and that is why it ranked higher than Fire Emblem Three Houses for me. And honestly, Nintendo this year, if I wanted to, I could have made this an entire Nintendo list, because Nintendo did nothing but just throw out banger after banger this year. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Now, a lot of people have contended about this. They're like, oh, it's a remake. It's a remake of an old game, so it's not new. And honestly, I think a lot of people saying that stupid shit either didn't play the original or they don't understand how fundamentally different this is from the original. Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 2 are two, and they have the same overall narrative, but they're two entirely different games, entirely different gameplay, and entirely different thematics, but they are both top tier games. Resident Evil 2 Remake, from the graphics, I don't know of a game that came out in this year that looks better visually. And I think because of the RE engine that Capcom has developed, it is just stunning. It looks better than anything you can imagine. Like, there's no game that has come out this year that looks better or more realistic than this. I mean, even Devil May Cry 5, which also uses the RE engine, doesn't look as good as this. Like this right here, and especially if you're playing this on PC at the highest resolution, you know, if you're running this in 4K with HDR at 60 frames per second, this game, oh my, whew, go play this game. All right, and one of my good friends, Nick Apostolides, is actually the voice of Leon S. Kennedy in this remake. He did the mocap for him as well. So Nick, awesome job, man. You did an awesome job with this game. Coming in at number 5 is none other than a game I actually have a part in being a part of the creation process, as being the media diffuser for. And that game is none other than my good friend Mauricio Herrera, aka Mr. Q, aka Magneto's Legend of the Double Dragon. This game is so good. If you are a Double Dragon fan, and here's the thing, I think a lot of people, a lot of this newer generation has no understanding of Double Dragon other than Double Dragon Neon. And while mechanically it's a good game, I hate the fact that that game shits on the legacy, the lore, and the essence of Double Dragon for the sake of comedy. I mean, it's kind of like River City Girls, how they did it. That is not Double Dragon. This game is Double Dragon, and it's gritty, it's real, it's got a great story to it, and honestly, I don't know of a beat 'em up game that has come out either this year or in the last 30 plus years that is better than this. The fact that you can switch between Double Dragon styles 1, 2, 3, and Super / Return of Double Dragon style, with new moves added in, with style switch combos, with ultra combos, with killer combos. There's two versions. There's the Best Bros edition, which effectively has, you know, the music from Return of Double Dragon, Super Double Dragon, and then there's the Cinematic edition, which has music from, like, you know, Best of the Best, Bloodsport, and so on. And it's just honestly the best beat 'em up that has ever been made. And I'm not saying that just because I'm friends with Magneto. I'm not saying that just because I am in this game. I am saying this as a fan of Double Dragon, as a fan of the beat 'em up genre. This is hands down the best beat 'em up game to ever be made. Mauricio, my man, you killed it. This game is fucking phenomenal. You need to play it. And it's free. It's the only game on this list that is absolutely free. You need to play it. If you got PC, or Android phone or whatever, you can play this game for free. If you want to pick it up, links down here. Coming in at number 4 is none other than Shenmue III. Now, this has been a game that's been very contentious because a lot of people see the mainstream, and this is something where the mainstream gamer or the bro gamer who only plays the mainstream titles, which is primarily all journalists, which a lot of journalists are trash. It's, if you're, and I see this comparison between Shenmue and Yakuza, it is not the same. If you're expecting a Yakuza experience in Shenmue, you're not going to get it. They're two entirely different games. Shenmue is about the journey. It's about self-reflection. It's about questioning your motivations, questioning your outlook on life, and the martial artist's journey. It is the truest representation of what it is to become a martial artist that I think a lot of people who aren't martial artists, they don't understand that. This game, to me, graphically, gameplay, even the voice acting, as stilted as it is absolutely phenomenal. Rory Marshall returning to reprise his role as Ryo Hazuki is just absolutely stunning. And I hope that we get Shenmue's 4 and 5. And Yu Suzuki-san, thank you so much for getting us out of Guilin Cave after 18 years. I absolutely love it. This game, gameplay, graphics, story, it's an experience. It's in the top of this list. You need to play it. Coming in at number 3 is Gears 5. Now this game, I know there's a controversy. There's another game with controversy around it because a lot of people are not happy that Kate is the central figure of the story, which makes me wonder, did you play Gears 4? Because the ending of that kind of let you know the direction of where this was going. Actually, the entire game lets you know that. It was kind of a bait and switch with JD and Kate, but here we go. The game is fun. Like, mechanically, I'd say it's probably the best Gears to come out from a mechanical standpoint. The gameplay is really good. The graphics are fucking awesome. The story, actually, I absolutely love the story. I thought the story was fucking awesome. And it's just one of those games that I think that if you play it, you would absolutely love it. Now, is it the best story-wise? That's up for debate. Like, for me, I'm gonna put this up there with Gears 3 because there's an event that happens towards the end of the game and you have to make a choice. And it's one that I honestly, you would think because of how formulaic Gears 4 was, Gears 5 is gonna be just as formulaic. But once you get to this point, there's a choice you have to make, and that shapes the course of the story, and I'm not sure which one is canon. It's a heart tugger. So Gears 5, you need to play. Coming in at number 2 is Devil May Cry 5. This game, man, this game is so good. My God. Devil May Cry 5 is just absolute. Devil May Cry is back, baby. This game, and for those of you who don't know, the last Devil May Cry, and I'm not one of those who hate on DMC. I thoroughly enjoyed DMC and its take on the story and the lore. I thought Ninja Theory did a fucking amazing job with it. But the last true Devil May Cry numbered entry was Devil May Cry 4, which came out in 2008, back when I was in college. So for it being a decade between 4 and 5, and 4 still looks stunning, this right here with the RE engine, with its combat system taken from 4, cranked up, and regardless of what people will, many people who just hate on DMC and never played it, a lot of DMC's mechanics are in Devil May Cry 5, and you look at the direction of the art style. They took the realistic approach that DMC was going with and applied it to Devil May Cry 5, and it worked phenomenally. And the question of how is it going to stand up over the course of time with them going away from the anime look to the realistic look. But regardless, it's back. One of my best friends Ruben Langdon, the voice of Dante, the motion capture artist for Dante, did such an amazing job in this game. Ruben, hats off to you. Johnny Young Bosch, hats off to you. And hats off to Daniel Southworth and everyone who was involved in this project. This game is fucking phenomenal. Now on to number one. The number one game of 2019 is none other than Fuck out of here. We're not gonna go with Death Stranding. The number one game of the year is none other than Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This game took me by surprise. I'm not one who hates on EA, but EA has not put out a good single player game, and I don't even remember the last time they have. I mean, it's been what, a decade? Close to half a decade? EA was able to take mechanics from, and this is basically a game that's an amalgamation of many things. They took mechanics from Uncharted, Tomb Raider. Just think about any Miyazaki game, because I know a lot of people call it Dark Souls. Sorry, it's not. The only Dark Souls aspect of this game is the fact that when you do meditations, it's kind of like campfires, and when you go to those, it respawns the enemies, but it also lets you level up. So that's the only Miyazaki inspired thing that comes from Dark Souls. But other than that, it's an amalgamation of many other entries, and it doesn't have microtransactions, and it has an absolutely amazing story that start to finish just hooks you in. And it's just one of those games that I honestly did not see coming, like at all. Like I didn't at all think that this was going to be my top game of 2019. And there's a lot of games that could have been in this running. I mean, I could have included games like Days Gone or Detroit Become Human, but it is honestly, in my opinion, the best game to come out this year. And it's, you know, and honestly, with this list, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, does this order mean that this is better than this one? No, this is just the top 20 games that I feel came out this year. This is my list, my thoughts, my impressions, and hopefully you enjoy some of these games too. And that's it, guys. That's it. That's the top 20 games of 2019. This is a wrap up of the year. And I just want to say thank you to you guys, because you've been fucking awesome riding with me for this year. We've seen tremendous growth this year, and honestly, I couldn't be happier. You guys really kick ass. You know, you come to my streams, you watch my videos, you read my reviews on the website, you follow me on social media. You know, we interact outside in the Discord group, which if you want to join the Discord group, the link's down in the description below. And it's just awesome. I enjoy you guys. I'm really glad that, you know, 2019 for gaming has been awesome, and I'm happy with the growth of the channel. But with that being said, what do you guys think? What are your top 20 games for 2019? Or do you have a top 10, top 5, or top 3? Whatever you have, let's get the conversation going down below in the comment section. And with that being said, this is Mekel Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber, signing out. You guys have a great one.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. And since you made it here, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And you can always check out MikelKasanova.com. If you want to support the content, we've got Patreon, as well as channel memberships and super chats. And with that being said, this is Mekel Kasanova. I enjoy you guys. I hope you have a great one. Mahalo, and see you next time.